Hello and welcome back to my channel being Rocky. I hope everyone is having a safe and wonderful day. Well, I'm back in the kitchen today with two beautiful young ladies, as you guys know, Salmah and Alica. Am I saying it right?
Yes. Alica, yes.
So, Salmah?
So today we are preparing a little iftar dinner. Ramadan is approaching and we thought it would be really fun to prepare chicken curry and roti as if though we were getting ready for an iftar dinner. And we've invited our friend Alica to come along and experience what it is, that big cooking for Ramadan, for iftar when you go to the masjids, especially Guyanese masjids. At the end of a long day of fasting, we look forward to like roti and curry. I mean, there's no doubt in that. We always scout masjid menus to figure out where to go. But yeah, so follow us along today in the kitchen as we prep this meal.
And this will be my first iftar dinner, so I'm really excited to be involved in the prepping. And I will also be making baked custard for you guys.
As a dessert.
And I did make some ice blocks, so later we'll enjoy that.
Oh,
for
yes.
Yes.
So let's start cooking.
We have about 5 pounds of
Yes.
chicken here.
Mm-hmm.
It's fresh chicken,
Mm-hmm.
roasted and cut up and cleaned already, right?
Courtesy of Uncle Rock and Auntie Sherry.
Yeah. So what seasonings do you have in here?
So we did salt and black pepper, and then to that we've added a little bit of green seasoning, with grind seasoning, and then we're going to add a touch of.
Yeah, just a touch of curry powder. It's just to help the meat taste a little better.
Yes. Okay. And then just to season this all up, mix it up together, and we're going to leave this to rest while we prep on our other ingredients.
Okay.
Right. Clean hands. And then just to get it all in there, mix it up. I know some people like to throw a lot of different seasonings in this when they marinate the chicken. So usually for me, I like to keep it simple: salt, black pepper, a little bit of thyme. But we have the green seasoning, so it's pretty much all of it is in there. And we'll leave this to rest for a little bit.
Okay. It's a perfect size too for curry.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, so this will hang out and do its thing, sit and marinate, and then we can move on.
Looks good.
Yeah, it smells good.
Yeah.
I smell the pepper. So we started toasting the clove, cinnamon, elaichi, and pepper. And while that's heating up, Alica and I are working on making the curry paste. So we have some grind up seasoning. This is what? Onion, garlic,
Fine leaf thyme, and riri pepper.
and then to that
And some scallion.
and scallion. And then we're gonna add curry powder, turmeric, jeera, and garam masala.
Yes.
A little bit of water. That's about enough. Or a little bit more.
Yeah, for 5 pounds. Yeah, that should be good for 5 pounds.
Do you go heavy on the masala and jeera, or like?
For chicken curry, I usually do like kind of even.
Okay.
You know. For fish, I'll put more curry powder.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
was
like
a little
if you
lighter.
cook duck or lamb, then a little bit more masala.
Do you salt this, or salt it after?
I usually don't put salt in this part. Do
Okay.
you?
I do, but we'll do it. This
Okay,
way.
whatever you want to do is fine.
And then I'll add a little bit of water.
I'm getting set to eat.
So we are kind of doing a mixture of both, how we both make chicken curry. Because for me, I toast the spices and I put everything in raw. So I know this is common to do it this way.
Okay. I've never done it this way, but it's nice. It flavors the oil.
Yeah.
Really nice.
And right. Splatter.
A tad bit more masala.
More masala? Okay. So I'm going to add this masala. I'm just going to dissolve it in here.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Oh, the color kind of got lost a little bit with the turmeric as well. So, and then this, you normally fry it out until, like, you see that the oil separates.
Yes.
You're basically cooking out the dry spices.
Correct. And then frying it brings out the flavor
Right.
of the spices. Take away that like raw taste, you know?
Blooming it.
So I'll do you guys dishes.
Oh. Alright, so while this is frying away, medium low heat, then we'll work on the roti.
The roti.
Yes.
Okay.
So, I was telling you earlier that I'm like novice to intermediate level when it comes to roti. It's only recently that it's actually been like I've been making it and it started to resemble something like roti. When I first got married, my husband and I, it was like trial and error because I would make it and then I learned that adding too much baking powder, it wouldn't,
Yeah.
rise, and then it
makes
would be like
stiff. Yeah.
flat disc. We would just like crispy.
Yeah. It's practice. It really
Yeah.
is all practice. Okay. So let's see. We've got about 4 cups of flour here. So I don't put too much baking powder. When I first started making on my own, I did, but just like you,
Yeah.
like, you know, trial and error, you're like, why is it so stiff or why did that swell? Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put too much. 4 cups. That should be enough.
Yeah.
That's about 1 teaspoon.
Nice.
That one.
You want to just get a little yellow?
Okay. I'm gonna put too much simmer. We were just saying that this is kind of like the whole vibe and theme of like when you get together and cook for like an iftar, because you have a lot of chefs in the kitchen, either
Yeah.
gathered at someone's house in the backyard or like masjid, where they all come together and they cook. So everybody has a job of like chopping, prepping,
Right.
getting everything together.
Right.
But then everybody's coming a little bit more of this, a little bit,
Yeah.
you know, a little bit more of that.
Yeah.
So the same way. And then now we're just gonna add in the chicken since the masala's done.
Okay.
And it always turns out amazing.
It reminds me of like Diwali and Pagua, like cooking with
Together.
a lot of cooking with a lot of people.
Oh yes, Alica, you did say you used to cook at the mandir with your parents, right?
Yeah, when I was young. Well into my teen years.
Nice.
I feel like when you cook with older people too, like from that young
Yeah.
age,
Yeah.
there's certain things you learn
Yeah.
It's also
that like a recipe can't just provide, you know?
True.
Exactly.
True.
To be like present is like the best way to learn. And then it's also nice. I like cooking amongst all of them too, like the different generations, because of the stories.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always so much nice stories, you know. So honey's doing the dishes today.
Elisa and I came and took over the kitchen.
Anytime.
You gotta work for the food today. act a little busy.
It's so nice having you girls over. Oh my God.
This is really nice. Really nice.
I love it.
It's gonna be an awesome lunch.
Yes. And guys, you can find Salmah on Instagram, Salmah Hack. And then Alicia is Alica Pepperpot.
Pepperpot.com, and you
On-
can find me on social media as well.
Yes. So check them out, right? 2 amazing, amazing chefs.
How's it looking?
It's looking good. Sorry, that's like
smells
classic.
good.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
The pot, yeah.
yeah.
It smells good.
And we're halfway cover it just so let the chicken let out its own like water. So
Okay.
that cover it, and then we'll continue. I'll lower this, and then just a quick stir, lid back on, and then we'll start in the roti flour.
Nice.
So, okay, so we have 4 cups of flour here and about a teaspoon of baking powder.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna use my hands and mix this up.
It's fun using your
And
hand.
cut
It's so
some
much
butter.
better.
Yeah.
You could feel it.
Yeah, you can feel the dough. You can feel how it all
This is
comes
like,
together.
Awesome basin to like mash roti flour.
Oh yeah, it has a
Yeah.
lot of space.
Yeah.
Up the bazaar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like flat.
Yeah.
The best roti basin ever.
I know. It's like real old time. But yeah, I know roti for me has always been trial and error. So when it comes out good, I'm like, oh, it's so nice. I don't want to eat it.
Yeah. Dough is temperamental, you
It's
know.
very much. There's so many factors that go into like making good dough too, because if it's like too hot or too cold, like the temperature of your house or like the countertop as well too.
Yeah.
All that plays a factor
Yeah.
into it.
So some people also use shortening in here, right?
Yeah, I use vegetable shortening too.
I've used shortening before. I've never used butter.
I know some people use margarine.
Yeah. My mom actually makes her roti without any fat in the dough.
That's Rock does that.
My mom
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny. My mom was a running joke. She would call and ask for order like oil roti, but no oil. So like you make the roti and
Yeah.
but not put oil in the top because it's always so saturated.
Heavy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember growing up like cooking with her, and she would say, like when we were cooking it on the tawa,
Yeah.
she would say, don't put too much oil,
Yeah.
you know?
I also think that's another reason why we favored, or my mom favored to make sada roti more, because it was still puffed, but it wasn't as like oily like paratha.
All right, so let's get the water in here.
And they have one called One Aisle, right?
One aisle.
Yeah.
All right, you tell me when.
Okay, go ahead.
And Salmah using warm water, right?
Yeah, more water.
Okay, that's good. So all you need for this is one finger. Like this.
Mm.
So empty well in the center, pour the water in, and then now
Yeah, you just need
saturating
one
with
finger.
water.
Great technique.
I would try that rather than taking my whole hand.
So at this point, this is when, if it feels like it needs more water,
That's where you.
this is when you'll add it. If you already started kneading the dough, like when it comes into a ball, and you're adding water, it doesn't like mix in well.
No, yeah,
You
because
know?
it's just the outside that'll get wet.
Yeah, you can put
Yeah.
a little bit over here. Okay, a little bit more. Okay. And then the other thing too is, if you put more water than you need, it's fine because you can always add more flour. But if you don't put enough water, it's hard to make that dough soft.
Yeah. And you're looking for that squidgy sound, right?
Okay, we need some water.
I'm grabbing the dry flour from this.
Yeah. Just a tiny bit here.
Good.
That's good.
I'm gonna get you the paper towel and then check on the chicken as well too.
I don't want to add more
So
flour.
you guys ever heard about the one aisle roti?
No, what is that?
Use a little oil. This is such
It's
a
like
cute
when
little,
you know some people like aisle roti but don't like all that oil in it. It's
Yeah.
one aisle. Instead of when you oil it and you set it and then you cook it. You don't oil it again on the towel.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
okay.
so you
I'm
call it.
like, I only use one type of oil.
No, it's like a one aisle. You call it one aisle. You know, Guyanese got terms for everything. So.
Very descriptive.
Yeah.
That looks so soft.
Yes.
So,
This little contraption is so cool.
Yeah. And that's Saki Cooks.
This?
Yes.
Yes.
That's from Saki Cooks.
It's
Check
nice
them
to
out,
use it to
guys.
dispense as much oil as you need.
yeah, that's nice.
Look at that.
Don't be concerned if it's too bumpy.
Okay.
When you let this rest is so that the protein in here or the gluten, it's going to develop, and that's what makes it stretchy.
Right.
So it doesn't really need to be smooth, but when we bailey it, it's going to be smooth.
Cool.
Okay.
So our curry is bubbling away on the stove behind us.
Smells so good.
The chicken right now is just releasing its own water, and we'll let that dry down a little bit before continuing on. In the meantime, we've already mashed the roti flour, that's resting, and now we're on to dessert. So usually, for iftars, you look for something sweet after, and at any typical Guyanese masjid, it's like one thing we look forward to, so it's either custard,
Okay.
custard block or ice block, famzeli cake, ice cream jello. So
Oh.
that's always
Ice
like
cream and jello.
Yeah, ice cream and jello
Yeah,
is a
that's the
classic.
best. Okay.
But yeah, so we're starting on the custard, and first by cracking the eggs, because I mean, what is a custard without eggs?
So we need a little something to put the shells, right?
Sure.
Yeah.
I grab it for you.
So we're using how many eggs? 6?
6. I do 6. How many do you?
6 is fine.
6?
It's always funny because growing up for me, anytime the oven was on, my auntie baby, she would always be like, and this is her famous words: if the oven done strike up, throw in a custard. You know, like whenever you empty out your oven, it's such a process.
Yes.
There's always stuff inside the oven.
Yeah.
So if you're taking the effort to like empty it out, rather than just having like one chicken or like a tray of something you put in, you make it worth it. The effort.
So I like to remove the little white thing. What is it?
The little white halo surrounding the egg.
The little
Use a scientific
the little
term.
umbilical cord.
Yeah.
Yeah. I take it out because I don't know.
Yeah.
My grandma used to say it's rank.
I get it.
But also like
Sometimes it also carries a
it
little
gets
like
bumpy like in whatever you cook. Lumpy.
it's not really the egg part of the egg white.
Yeah.
So it's different.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got eggs in
Got
there.
it all.
You know what's funny? I don't know if you guys have similar traditions too, but like when we go to the masjid, everything is in one plate. So like you get a plate and it's like piled with like your rice, curry, dal, roti, chowmin, and salad.
Oh
And
yeah.
then similar
Yeah.
for dessert, it's like you get one styrofoam
One
bowl.
little plate.
And
Yeah.
it's like custard, vanilla cake, jello, ice block, ice cream, and everything. You just like swirl together.
Oh my gosh, that sounds
Or like
so good.
ambrosia, and it's like
Yeah.
it always makes an appearance during Ramadan. It's that fruit cocktail.
Oh
with,
yes.
yeah.
the
yes.
milk and stuff where it's on everybody's dessert table.
Ambrosia.
Yeah.
That's delicious.
Eggs are whisking, and then to that we'll add a little bit of essence. So we'll do almond essence, a little bit of vanilla essence before throwing in the milk. First of all, I have to say it's an honor to cook with you again.
Oh my gosh, I'm so happy to cook with you. This might come as a surprise for some people, but Salmah and I actually went to school together, high school.
Went to high school
And
together.
we reconnected on Instagram.
Yeah, big up to anybody else who went to John Adams.
Yeah.
I also went to 226.
Oh, me too.
See,
I didn't know.
we're classic Richmond Hill girls. I also went to PS 100.
Oh no, I went to PS 155.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, we went to high
Okay.
school together.
Awesome.
But it's funny because in high school, we didn't really know each other until getting married, moving to Florida, and then we connected.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then up until recently meeting for the first time in person.
I know.
It's funny.
But I followed your stuff on Instagram
Well,
for a long time. I always loved, like, you have this soothing voice when you talk about food. And I used to live, it was like a relaxing thing to watch your videos.
well, you were, or still are, the reference point for a lot of Guyanese recipes. So if I can't get, connected to like my mom or my aunt or grandmother and stuff, I'm like, all right, let's go back. So I'll like go back to my encyclopedia, whether it be like Alica Pepper Pot or like my Tunji, one of the best.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, so to this, now we're gonna add the nutmeg and
Yes. Did you smell the nutmeg? This is Grenada nutmeg. So good. I saved this for my special recipes.
Well, I'm glad.
Every day, other
Yes.
recipes gets McCormick.
Ramadan is a special time. So growing up in Richmond Hill too, like I know, when we go to school, we were fortunate to be present during I know for me, seeing all the diyas lit down Richmond Hill for Diwali and the motorcades that came through for Palga or Holi, and then similarly during Ramadan. I know it's not such big as a festival, but having the big masjid there, and then during that time for all of your Muslim friends, if they were fasting, what they were staying away from food and drink during school hours, and then we would always have Eid day. So Richmond Hill, we would close down for Masjid Abadan on 127th Street. The streets would be blocked off, and early morning you'd see people walking down at 7:30 in the morning in shalwar and
Yeah.
this
Yes.
stuff going to Eid Salah, which is always
Wow.
nice to participate in that.
So what was it like for you going to school, knowing Ramadan's a special time for you and your family? And we grew up in a diverse area,
Yeah.
so we went to school with Italians and African Americans. It was such a nice mix.
It is, and then I think that was one of the beauties about growing up in Queens, because you learn about everyone's culture, you learn about everyone's religion and faith.
Yeah.
So it was nice because it's always an opportunity to conversate and tell someone else about your faith or about what it is you're practicing. So Ramadan is the 9th month of the Islamic calendar, and in the Islamic calendar we follow a lunar calendar. So it always changes every year. But fasting, yes, it's staying away from food and drink from sunrise to sun up. But at the same time, it's holistically. So it's what you're engaging in, your conversations, what you're looking at. You use that time to reflect on any habits that you want to change within yourself. It's spirituality that you're getting closer to, to God, and then a higher being. Because it's always stated that you develop new habits are developed within 21 days. So Ramadan we fast from anywhere to 29 to 30 days.
Oh wow.
So any of those habits that if you're being more mindful of what you're speaking about, who you're speaking to, what you're engaging in.
So it's a time for self-reflection.
Exactly. And seeing
taking
how,
something a part of your life and trying to improve it.
exactly, and then moving it along for the rest of the year, or a continuous practice. And then also we give charity during this month. So part of our pillars is that you give charity, and then it's either charity in the form of making iftar and feeding, or monetary charity. In Islam, we believe smile is charity. So yeah, and
No, it's true. You never know whose day you can brighten up.
exactly. So yeah, these are all just different practices. It's very, and one of the huge lessons that we take away from Ramadan is community, and in the community of getting together and observing, whether it be breaking our fast together, having dinner together. A lot of times when you go to the masjid, it's a huge you're fostering all these relationships that you hope that same spirit carries on through. So,
Well, I definitely feel that too.
I'm glad.
I feel like I'm cooking with my long lost sister. So this is really sweet.
I'm happy that. And then one of our ventures for the month of Ramadan is Auntie Sherry, Rocky, and I are going to take Alica with us to
Yes.
experience
Yes.
iftar at the masjid one year. So,
Yeah,
one day.
I can't wait to go. I've actually been to a Muslim wedding at a masjid, but I've never went to a service. So
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to.
You will get to
seeing
experience
how-
it there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That'll be nice.
awesome. So we're gonna strain this.
Yes. Let me get
Okay.
the other bowl and the strainer. So
Okay.
the reason, do you want to explain the reason why we're straining it? What we're straining?
Well, you want the custard to be smooth as it can be.
Right.
Unless you're my uncle who loves.
The lumps.
He loves the lumps. It's like a textural thing.
Yeah.
So his
Like when it
custard is
curdles a
more
little bit?
curdled.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more curdled. And I know that's not typical, but so you want the custard to be smooth, and in order to do that, you want to remove any kind of air bubbles that are, you know, forming in here when we're whisking. So let me put this in the sink. And then after this, we're gonna add the condensed milk, right?
Right.
It smells nice.
Smells really good. You know what this step also reminds me of? Like when you make flan.
Mm-hmm.
So we're not gonna add any water to it yet, but I usually will add tomatoes. So this is gonna be like for anybody in school. You ever read the story Stone Soup? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
So Stone Soup. The story of Stone Soup is that everybody brings a different ingredient, and then together from each of the ingredients it goes into a pot and it boils down, and it's made this like huge pot of soup for everyone to
Oh
eat.
wow.
So that's what this is reminding me of, because we started off making it in different ways. Like Rock and Auntie Sherry got the chicken, cut, clean, seasoned. We started by searing the spices, which is what I would do. We started with the masala from, you know, how you did it with the green
The paste,
seasoning and
yeah.
the paste. And then now, so I normally would put like tomatoes, instead of tomatoes, we're using tomato paste.
Yes.
So yeah, I like it because it's all the same ingredients, but like different process.
Different
Yeah.
process, yes. Cool.
Okay, so you tell me when and you're in
A nice color. But you don't want to put too much because you don't want your curry to turn into tomato stew.
And you know, there's some people that make that. It's
This
called
is enough. This is about a tablespoon.
curry stew. I
I've
always see
heard
like the
that. I
packet
never-
sell. I've never,
I
tried it.
never made that. Have you?
No.
That sounds interesting,
'cause,
though.
like, I don't know how it's supposed to look like. So I'm like, that'll be something to try.
Yeah. Call me when
We can experiment together.
I heard that, you know,
The curry stew.
curry stew.
Yeah.
People says, oh, they make curry stew. I'm like, what is curry stew?
I'm assuming it's probably something like
More
this,
tomato paste?
more
or
tomato
more
paste.
tomatoey?
Yeah, more tomato paste and like
Yeah.
jeera and like garam
More
masala.
tomato
and then
paste.
add too much. That's good.
so that you can tell the servers like. So I like to take my rubber spatula, the silicone spatula,
Yeah.
and I'll clean and scrape
Clean
the
the
side
side.
of the pot
Wow.
and add that in.
Okay. Alright, I think we can just leave it in. You want to taste it? See if it has salt?
Sure. Sounds good to you. Thank you. Thank you.
Is that strange? Sorry, that's how I do it.
That's how I
Yes,
do it
that's
too.
how, yeah.
I think it needs a little bit.
A little
Just,
bit more?
just a little bit.
Okay,
But
go
it's just really like you can tell the difference when it's like a farm fresh
Yeah.
chicken. I think just watch.
A little more salt.
Cool.
Just kind of eyeball this.
Mhm.
But it's around 3/4 of a can.
The restraint from like wanting to just.
I know. Oh my god, I know. You ever had condensed milk and flatbread?
And then sometimes when I don't have
I
bread,
think this is good.
but you have condensed milk, I'll do it on crackers.
Oh
like
my
roast
gosh,
crackers.
yes.
So good.
Mhm.
My hands are clean.
And you can't cut the bread, the flat bread. You gotta
No,
break
you gotta
it.
break it. I think we're in good shape because we're like whisking custard. We got our roti resting, chicken curry on the stove, you know. And that's a hard thing during Ramadan to like balance because you don't want your food to get too cold on the appropriate times of like when you cook what dish and when.
Yes.
So everything will be ready at a certain time.
Okay, so we're gonna put this in the oven. 350. I do 350. How much?
Same,
What time?
350, and then we
Okay.
have a water bath separately underneath. So
Okay. So yeah, people can do a water bath, or sometimes I just like to put a pan with water in the bottom.
And then.
It's easier. You know how?
Because then the steam will just go up rather than like, because you have to walk with an empty pan, pour the water, put it in that. It's a lot.
And the reason for the water in there is for it not to dry out, right?
Correct.
Cool.
To help steam it.
I love seeing the nutmeg and the cinnamon throughout. Yeah.
Oh, I think it all fits.
Okay.
Perfect.
It might not fit. Okay.
I also like to, I don't know if you guys do this, but I like to put great fresh nutmeg on top.
Yes.
And so,
Oh, let me get that.
extra nutmeg, always fresh nutmeg on top before it goes into the oven. I like to blanket it with nutmeg. I might go overdose, but I love it.
I think this is done.
It's
Chicken
done.
done there.
Chicken curry done just in time for us to put custard in the oven, and then we're gonna start making it our way. All right, into the oven it will go.
All right.
Go ahead. Be careful, it's hot. Yeah. There
There we go.
That's it. You close. And we get the custard in a minute.
Add some scallions on the top. Shallot.
Alright, so the roti dough has rested, and now we're going to turn it out to make the loy. And it's funny that Auntie Sherry then put out this pie sill, because in me making loy, I have used the inch notches that helps me to measure.
Oh,
So I get like the same inch.
It's nice.
It is.
It's silicone, right?
It's silicone, yeah.
It's really nice.
Just grabbing it all together.
And it's from Saki Cooks on Facebook. You can find them
this
there. Yes.
Salmah?
Yes.
Oh, nice. Just add a little bit of flour to the pan. I just do. Oh, thank you. I just like to add a little bit of flour. I mean, it's not really sticky, but just cause. So.
Like Chef Devin says, don't waste.
I know. Every little piece. You don't really need to add much flour to this. It's just really for stickiness. So I like to roll it. This is my method of doing it.
Go ahead. I want to learn your way.
Which is how I found, roti is trial and error. And then I love that it's soft now because it's rested long enough.
Okay.
So I try and make it even thickness, and then I line it up on the mat to the inches. So then I can make sure that I have enough so that it's the same thickness all around. And for me, this is just squeezing. You feel it then to understand all right, if it's too thick in one end, it needs to be thinner on the other side, and then I line it from here to the brush, and then spread the oil in the pan. Yeah. So it's in the dispensers up there.
That's so cool.
Yeah. So you use just the amount that you need.
I love it. Where can we get that?
Saki Cooks on Facebook. You can find her there.
You know what I love? It's sealed. It has a cover, so you can save it for next time.
Yes, and we'll link the information in the description.
So we're just gonna put each of the dough balls that we portioned out from the loy.
Okay, leave two, so
Leave
I'll
two?
show you
Okay.
how I do it, and then I
Yeah.
want you to show me how.
Oh.
You know the one that you showed me
Yeah.
with the cone?
And I learned that
Yeah.
from my mother-in-law, from my husband.
Okay. All right, so that's good. We'll just
Let's put it over. I feel like I'm standing guard. So far.
So at this point, it doesn't really matter the shape,
Right.
because once we roll it up, you'll get a nice round shape. And actually, I like to make my roti square. It has a nice giant air pocket because of how it's folded.
Yeah.
So that's my preference, but I'll show you this way. And we're using avocado oil.
Oh, nice.
Okay. What other fat do you use when you make this?
I am a truist
Uh-huh.
because I learned to use with either vegetable or canola oil.
Uh-huh.
So I always do it with that. But I know people will do with olive oil. There's some that do it avocado and coconut oil. I haven't tried it with that.
Oh, okay.
And it's because I'm so scared. I've only now recently started making good roti. You did that so fast and so quick, master.
Okay, and I'll show you my square.
Yes, let's see this.
My grandma makes her roti square.
Wow, so interesting.
Yeah.
So you see, you can still get married even if you make some.
Yeah. Do you feel the dough? How?
Yeah, it's so soft.
Yeah, like you can't really. The lumps don't really matter.
Mhm. Oh, so you fold it kind of like in itself.
When I'm doing square.
Yeah.
Yeah. I see. This mat is really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I usually bailey my roti on chowki or I have a marble cutting board.
Like a stone.
Yeah, I usually use that, but
I
this
have
is really
that's what I
nice.
use, yeah. I use it for all my doughs. So do you oil each layer in between? Or you just fold
No.
it in itself?
Oh, I need to get some. There we go. No, I just oil one time here.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll show you. Just fold it over.
Oh, I see. So you're creating layers like this.
Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
A cute little pocket.
Mhm.
There we go.
That's very easy.
Okay.
I'm trying to master that. Here,
What's
when I got married is my husband. So normally, like, I'll mix and then he'll do the loy, and I always see him and my mother-in-law. They roll it this way, and then they form
Cone.
the cone, and then from the cone, grabbing the end to tuck everything in.
Salmah, that's the old-fashioned way.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Our last cup of roti.
Here's a square one.
Put it on one side.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little bit. I don't put too much on this side. It's gonna catch.
Two little sugar roti.
We're getting sugar roti too. Oil roti and sugar roti.
Yeah, make two little sugar roti. Good.
I'll put it here for you.
All right, let me clap this one for you now. Let's see. Full.
You got it.
You know what? It worked not too bad, but
Nice.
right?
And guys, that's the roti clapper glove. Check them out. Saki Cooks.
So we're gonna make two little sugar roti. I'll show you guys.
No, it's just when you have extra low, you make sugar roti.
Yeah.
Mhm.
This is something from childhood.
And you like yours thin and crispy,
I like
right?
mine thin and crisp.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Cool.
So as soon as you fill this, you can't wait too long to cook it.
Okay.
So let's cook this one and be gentle because the sugar will bore out from the dough.
Yeah.
I don't know what other word to say.
It'll fall out.
It'll fall
It'll
out.
pierce the dough. Little sugar granules.
Mhm.
So this is our sugar roti. We'll be extra gentle.
And we're gonna leave this to cook on each side for a good while, and then you can see already the sugar granules starting to melt.
It's looking very nice.
It is nice and wrong. This is our
Yeah.
toasted sugar roti.
Mhm.
Yeah.
This is exactly how I like it.
Like this?
How this is so brown.
Mhm.
That's perfect for me.
Alrighty. We are done roti making. Save the best for last.
Yes. Okay.
Ready?
You want to do the honors?
Oh, sure. I
Okay.
mean, if you talk about splitting bread, this is
one?
like the best bread to split.
Oh wow. Yeah, I love when it's thin and crisp.
I know. Oh, and you can kind of see
Yeah.
melted here.
Oh, okay.
Auntie Sharon, Uncle Rock, I'll come too.
Oh, I can hear that crunch.
Yeah.
Aren't you come take a piece?
Yes, I'm here. Let me work. You don't have to tell me twice. Yes.
There for you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh yeah.
You guys are eating and I'm swallowing.
You don't understand that there's nostalgia in food. Every time I eat sugar roti, it just brings me back to like childhood.
Mm.
It's so
Love it.
good.
So
Oh,
good.
this is so good. Yeah.
It's crisp and thin. And the sugar
Yeah.
is like very sweet.
Wow.
It's perfect. And it'll be sugar overload. It'd be awesome to dip in condensed milk.
I know.
That's good.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Yes,
Oh, thank you. We have our chicken curry, roti, and our dessert for custard. But traditionally, when we break our fast for iftar, we break our fast with a date.
Okay.
So that's the first thing that we would eat for the sunset prayer. The call to prayer would occur, which is the adhan, and then at that point is where you would eat the date. It's a sunnah, which is following the prophetic way. That you would open your fast with a date. So we would have dates and then we indulge in dinner. Well, yeah.
All right. So as Salmah explained, we just break. If you was at Masjid and it was Ramadan month, we break our fast. Or Guyanese storm roja. You know what I'm saying?
You call it roja.
You call it roja. So on to the dinner now, guys. Let's go. Who's gonna go first?
You go first.
No, you go first.
Me.
You go first.
Oh my god, this looks so good. We've been like cooking all day. Let me take out for you. If there's any particular piece.
Sure. Thank you. You're welcome. Yeah.
So,
Roti.
like I said the last time, I invite you guys to cook, so it's time for me to eat. Let me try a piece. Ooh, that
You
roti
did
is
wash
so
up all
soft.
the dishes.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you earned your meal.
Oh, this. Go ahead.
Ooh, the platter's nice and warm.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yummy.
It's community curry.
This is good. So for dessert, we are having custard black that Alica made from home. And you said some of them are oat milk, right?
Yes.
Good.
And then the others are made like the traditional way with milk.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Either ice block first and then onto the custard.
Oh yes. This is good.
That's good, right?
Really good.
Yeah.
The custard powder gave it a nice flavor.
You know what I always like? That little skin on the top of the ice block. I don't know if that's the correct word, but this is really indulgent. Thank you. After a heavy meal like that, you need something sweet.
Yeah, it's nice after curry too.
Alright, we don't lash out the custard block. We gaff a little bit. Time for you guys to cut this custard. Since I got here, I'm waiting on this stuff.
Here, you do the honors.
No, you guys.
Since you've been waiting,
Yeah.
you're eyeing it
I
up.
know.
So.
Oh, yeah.
Here, you get the first
Thank you. And that's a nice little piece of carne there.
How big of a piece would you like, Melissa?
That's good.
That's good. That's good. Oh, I like that. You can see the
Yes.
the texture. You're welcome.
Wow. Very nice.
Really nice.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm still a little warm.
Not saying I can't cook, buddy. Oh my gosh, this thing is so good. We're not gonna share this, right?
No.
This is really good.
It's smooth.
Yeah.
Alright. Hands down, this is one of the best baked custard I ever had.
I'm so glad.
No.
So once again, thank you guys for coming over, spending some time with me and the wifey. And Salmah, you could reach Salmah at
Salmah Hack on Instagram.
and
Elisa's Pepper Pot on Instagram.
all you guys knew her, right? Everybody knew Alica Pepper Pot.
Check
Thank
them
you for
out.
having us.
You guys can come anytime and do this. Once I could get to eat, I'm good. So guys, once again, thanks for the little time that you spent with us in the kitchen with the wifey back in the camera and these two beautiful young lady cooking for me today. How special am I, right? Alright? So I can't stop thinking about this custard. I'm thinking about that custard. Thank you for the love and the support you have shown us on our YouTube channel. Thanks for all the lovely comments. Thanks for the time you spent with us. Guys, and if you haven't, please like and subscribe.
Happy Ramadan.